Try to cheat.
I cheat.
Okay, but stand by. How's my audio level? Okay, I'm going to start by saying this is Bob Harris, 85, Med 3, and your serial number was?
39214-200.
And your dates of service in the 10th Mountain Division?
October 44 through October 43 through November 45.
And the highest rank?
T5.
Okay.
We were housed here, and 2 squads went up the hill, 2 reconnaissance type squads, and I went along as the medic. About halfway up one of these mountains, we'd look back and someone, a Nazi sympathizer, was using a Morse code with a flashlight. And we were about halfway up the mountain, and the next thing we knew, here come all the artillery. So that ended that patrol right now. We turned around and came back with no injuries, but we didn't go after what we wanted. That's it. Interesting, isn't it?
What were you thinking when you saw that?
We all started talking about it. Somebody's giving our story away, where we're going, what we're doing. Some sympathizers telling somebody. We watched it for quite a while, and then the artillery started coming in, and that ended that right there.
Now, you were a medic in 85. What kind of things did you see on a regular basis?
A lot of wounds. First I worked in the aid station, then I was a first aid man with Company I, Company L, and then I was working the aid station again. And on Mount Belvedere, we lost about a third of our medics. At the time I was working in the first aid station, so I went out as a medic, company medic, picking up what I could find. Then as we moved around, I worked in the aid stations or as a company, wherever I could go. In the States, I'd had training with mules, and I was responsible for getting all the medical equipment up the mountain. It was interesting.
Tell me when you're a medic, what do you do on a regular basis?
Just follow along, and somebody yells medic, or you see somebody while you jump in and do your thing. My first casualty was shot through the head, and I didn't know what to do. I had training for everything but that. But no, you just, they call medic and you go. I saw so much blood and gore. I was going to go into medicine, but that's how I got into medics. I was taking pre-med at the UAW and taking the courses in that, so they automatically put me into medics. I had no choice. So after all of that, I decided I didn't want to be into medicine. That's too much blood and gore.
Which particular battle stands out as a particularly troublesome one for you?
I think Belvedere. I went up the night of Belvedere. I went up with an Italian and about 30 mules and all the equipment. The Italian was on the front, and I was hanging on to the last mule's tail, dragged me up the mountain. We dumped everything in a big pile. He said, "Arrivederci." He took his mules and he left, and I was stuck. That was a long night. Two-pack, I was called what you'd call a two-pack night.
What happened in that long night?
It just stayed quiet, and when the American troops started coming, I knew the password for that day. And when the troops started coming, I could hear them or sense them, but I didn't dare say anything because they were trigger happy. So I waited till the squads moved past me, and then I sang out with the password. I didn't want to get shot going up there.
Once the fighting started, what was it like for you?
I worked in the aid station. All the aid people came up, they set up the tent, and we started doing our thing, taking care of the wounded. We lost about a third of our medics that day. Pretty sad. We'd been training with them for 18 months? Or no, not that long. 8 months, 10 months. So it made you feel bad.
What happened to the medics?
Well, they all got shot. Shells, bullets, whatever. No respect for the cross, that's for sure. Then on Hill 913, I got shot. And
Tell me about when you were injured.
oh, there were rock walls, and we kept moving ahead on these rock walls and jumping up between machine guns and bullets and artillery, and we'd jump up and then move up to the next wall. And I got up, I don't know, a third of the way. And I think one of the worst things in the war was that, I think it was the 2nd Battalion, got into all these timber where they had the, what they call them, the tree shots. They burst in the trees where there wasn't a tree left on that hill. They had a terrible casualty rate up there. I don't know how I got mixed in with them, but you know, you run around, medic here, medic there. You lose track of who's who and where's where. About it.
The end.
Quit smoking.
Your odds are good. Your odds are very good.
Thank you.
Yeah.